Awesome. Awesome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. February the 12th. It is 10 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock in the mountains. Uh, we don't have much on the calendar for today. Tomorrow is when the big event is. All right. So as far as we're concerned right now, there's nothing for us to be worried with. Tomorrow, however, a lot of the big US numbers are coming out and so on and so forth. The rest of the week should be pretty busy. Okay, so for today, it's slim pickings. However, we do have some things to be concerned with. All right, so let's look at the bigger picture. Last week, we found support at the 61%, and we've been moving back towards the 50% over the course of the week. If we zoom into this latest range, the latest range itself offered resistance at 38 and offered a little bit more resistance at 50. And over the course of the last 5 or 6 days, we've created this upward channel. So as long as we remain in this channel, this is intermediate bullish in a downtrend. Right, so we have to remain intermediate bullish. We have to be buying support, right, until we break out of this channel. If we break out of the channel, the next support is 740 or so, and then ultimately we're back to 61%, right? But because the news is tomorrow, I'm thinking the 50% will be the likely target, right? The market's going to try to have us near that 50% so that everybody is, on the wrong foot just in time for the news. Right. So as far as we're concerned today, we have made a slightly lower low, just enough to damage some accounts. I think we went down by a pip or two. And then the high was created in the wee hours of the morning. I think this was done in right at the beginning of the European session. Right. So we have a bearish candle in a bullish market. As such, I think we need to be buying support, right? So we're going to go and take a look on an hourly. And why do we want to be buying support? Well, for the last couple hours, we've been making higher highs. We've been making higher lows. And right now we are testing support, right? So we'll have our answer in a few minutes, right? Are we going higher or are we going lower from here? Right. So one way to take a look at this is on the 5 minutes. Now that we know where the ceiling and the floor is, the ceiling is right there. Our floor is right here, an extension of last week. Okay. So within that range, within this range, we have to go on a 5-minute scale and start highlighting the levels that we want to take action at or with. All right, so here we're going to start drawing a much, much, much tighter range. Right? And these ranges will resemble rung on a ladder or rungs on a ladder. And then we determine by looking, visually, what is the price trying to do? Is it trying to go up the ladder, down the ladder? Is it staying between the two rungs? So on and so forth. Right? So if we go far enough to the left, a lot of this information is already available. Right? We just have to seek it out. This one might be a little bit off. That's more like it. All right, so you can see how we're building a ladder. And now with the current price, we want to see the price move up or down these rungs. Let me remove this one and just extend this. I can then remove that also. Okay, so here we are, right? We're testing support right here, right now. So if we see this as support, and we know we want to be buying support, then we could probably put this right there. So I'm just measuring from the low. I've already taken 16 clicks as swings. And now we are testing our assumptions using 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips, right? So for the time being, disregard these trades even exist. Right? So I'm testing support and I'm attempting to make 3 pips with my assumption. Right? So the ladder that we're testing is right here. The next rung on our ladder is about 5 pips away. Right? We'll know soon enough. Oops, sorry. We'll know soon enough if we're going up or down. Right? When we look at the overall day, we are missing pips. If we look at the overall day, top to bottom, the day is 44 pips. The average should be 65. We have to anticipate those missing pips to come either through the bottom or through the top. Right? I'm anticipating a bullish outcome because we are in this bullish channel and the low so far has been holding. Right? So I need to be buying this bounce. Right? So here's that first trade that we took. Right? If it stays in this box and everything kind of remains in my favor, I can put the box right there on that swing and now measure to here. Ooh, look at that. Another click or two in my favor. The sound is okay. The picture is good. We're buying supports. The expectation is because of tomorrow's US CPI, if it comes in, hot or hotter than expected, the euro will likely crumble, but I think it needs to crumble from a higher level. And we've been targeting this zone up here literally for 5 days now. Right? In the course of the night, last night in the chat room, we talked about selling above 08. And those of you that took advantage of that at 08 or near 08 made money. Our swing trades from last week closed here while we made money there on Friday. So let's try and repeat something similar. The important part to remember is this channel here, right? As long as the bottom holds, it tells us what we, intraday trader can look forward to. And then because we're here forward looking this news, it's highly likely that we be at a 50% of some kind, midway through a range. We just have to wait and see if today's low holds. These small days over the last week, days being smaller than average, we are still waiting for the so-called jack in the box to make up for that difference. If we go and take a peek at it 5 minutes, what's important to us for the time being is higher highs and higher lows. right? So this right here, if I'm a buyer at support, which I am, this lower support right here, the bottom of our current box, needs to hold for me to be a buyer of support. Right? So this suggests, because we're making the higher highs and the higher lows, it suggests if this fails, we may want to be rotating and going short instead. Right? So if we failed to continue making higher highs and higher lows, we'd have to assume the lows are going to be tested and we may be going lower, right? Support may be failing. On Friday, support was constructive and it led us higher. Today, support, if it holds, remains constructive. This is what we're trying to test for right here. Right? This line right here. We broke through it once this morning, ever so slightly, right? Just enough to cause pain. And here we are, fast forward 2 hours later. Are we going to be retesting this, or are we going to move away from this and go the other way? Right? And so because of what we see here, right there, we have to assume this will hold, right? It's an assumption. If the assumption is wrong or proven to be wrong, we will see here in a minute. We'll take some losses, $4 or $5 worth, and turn everything around. Let's see. This is what we're looking for. If we take a peek at an hourly, what does that look like on an hourly? Well, it's an inside bar and it's inside a bullish measure bar. So, the low has to hold for our assumption to be valid. I'll take another buy right there. And so now I have 3 open trades in this box, plus the 16 that were there already as swings. If we look to our left, we're testing the inside of this swing area right here. It's hard to see, but we're testing the inside of that swing right here. If this fails to hold, we should then, the next will be testing the outside of that swing and create a lower low. So here's the 4th click that belongs in this box right here. As such, because I have the 4 clicks already spent, box number 2 is now set up, ready, able to spend another 4 clicks. I'll take one right there. The inside swing. Right? And then I can take the rest of them, maybe one here, and maybe one here, if I'm given the opportunities. Right? Testing the lows. If we test the lows, the bounce of the test should make us money. And depending on how you look at this, we have multiple outside ranges and we've been surviving them. Test up 740 would not be out of the question. Right? The test of the lows would not be out of the question. And how far would this be? 3 boxes, 2 boxes. That would be a break of the channel. A break of the channel, we probably don't want to bet against. Right, so this is important here. We're testing for a bounce back up. If we fail to bounce, we're switching to shorts, and our target will be about 2.5 boxes away. All right, so if we fail to bounce right here, I'll make this green. If we fail to bounce right here, we want to be sellers. Oh, that's 761. I want 740. Where's 740? What level is this? 760. 760. Yep, perfect. All right, so we're testing the inside of that swing area here, looking for a bounce. If this holds, we're going back up into the upper box, clearly, and therefore closing some of our trades, giving us the opportunity to recycle some of our trades. If this fails to bounce and we end up breaking through this green area here, then we're going to be turning into shorts and we'll be selling resistances instead of buying support. Basically, we'll be selling a break of the channel. There's that bounce area I want to buy in. Right, so I'm allowed, it's 2 more here in this current box. 1 and 2. And that's it. All right, so I've spent all of the clicks that I can spend, as well as a bunch of swings. Right, so now we're going to see if this box will hold, right? Even if we make a false break like we're maybe attempting to do right now, right? The box is what I'm trading within, right? The box is my ballpark. So we'll have to wait and see how we behave through this box, right? My box number 2 is my cheapest loss, right? I don't want to go into box number 3, but box number 3 is clearly a breakdown of the channel. Okay, so it looks like we may have just made a slightly lower low. One pip. Box number 2 is getting tested. The breakout of the range, the breakout of the channel. Multiple pairs are probably experiencing the same behavior right now. And they're all going through the same thing. The dollar index is what we're competing with. And let's bring that into view right here. And so the dollar is at resistance. The yields are at resistance. pending a breakout. Right? So that's kind of what we're competing with. Right? The CPI news tomorrow will really deliver a punch. And I think everybody this week is looking forward to this, hence very, very low liquidity. Low volatility as well. Right? Testing support inside of the box. Is this where we want to lose? We'll soon find out. Right? So notice how we have this much time left in the box. Right? If we break out of the box, I'm going to close everything. I really don't want to go into box number 2. I mean, the lower box, 2 from where we are. So the bounce. Is this the bounce we're looking for? I think so. There we are, back into the channel. Back into the channel. We have 39 minutes on this hour. If this hour closes inside of the channel, this was all in vain. Right? This is why I commit to the box, not to some diagonal line. All right, start closing some winners here and repeat this process. Right, so if we're still targeting a higher high, painfully so, maybe 08. Right, a retest of the high would be nice. Just even a break, a test of the top here would be nice. A break of the high, right? Any kind of a move in this area there, sell. Right? We want to sell this stuff. Just like now we are buying this stuff. Right? When everybody thinks it's a breakdown, we're buying it from them. Remember where we are in 37 minutes. Now it's going into this CPI, and what else is on the calendar going down into the week? Right, so let's just double check I got the right time. Today, tomorrow, inflation, 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 inflation. CPI, lots of UK stuff, a little bit of European stuff, ton more US, especially for us tomorrow. Speeches. Oh yeah, tons. It should be pretty eventful. So it looks like the box is holding, right? We're using the time in the box instead of breaking the bottom of the box. And so, like we mentioned last week, as long as support holds, so this is support, we are at support. As long as support's holding, it's constructive, right? So fear not going into box number 3 until you go there. Right? If we don't go here, we don't go here. Right? The inside swing failed to hold. We tested the outside swing right here. That failed to hold and we broke through. And as we speak, we've retested this and now we created the lower low on the day and we're moving away from the lower low, right? The day's low. What time is it? Just in time for the bottom of the hour. All right. All right, this is what we want to see. And preferably we stay away from here. That would raise our anxiety a little bit, right? If we go and retest the lows and maybe make an even lower low, it's not really looking good for our move higher, right? This is a test of the channel. And as long as the test of the channel closes above the channel, we're likely going up, right? Probabilities are telling us something. Let me change the channel so I don't delete it by mistake. There we go. All right, so earlier we were looking at an inside bar to the bullish candle. Clearly that failed. All right, and we're testing the channel. If you can take a click for this current box, put it right there. I'm already clicked out. I have my 8 clicks spent as I'm holding on to drawdown as well. Right, so I think the average daily range has been met since this most recent move. And we're, oh, can that be? Oh, can that be? No, it can't be. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong average. It's 50. $65. Oh no, we're still missing 15 pips. Oh, we've done more than yesterday. Sorry. All right, so are we going to add 15 pips to the top? are we going to add 15 pips to the bottom? Right? Just trying to make it an average day. Oh, big stretch. I've had a really tough sleep last night, and I'm still waking up. I was late waking up this morning. My whole day is behind by 1 hour. There we go. We want to see the bottom of the current box holding up price. Ideally, we want to remain in this current box and slowly drift our way back up. And that's how we typically make our money every day. Right? We build for the next move. I'm just, I'm, I have my legs crossed, my fingers crossed, hoping that the next move is not further down. Right? In my mind, the next move is a bounce off of support. And so a bounce back up on the current candle is what I built for. Even if we don't get to the 800s, I don't care. I'll have closed most of my trades by the time we decide we're not going there. Right. So if we trade every day and then leave the casino every day, we tend to have a much better track record than if we try to just trade all day long. And so this not over trading is built into the strategy when you start to operate as a business with real business hours, and you force yourself to stop on schedule. Right? Lock the doors, just like the banks closes every day. You have to close every day. Count your money, just like the bank. So we're testing the second box, the lowest low of the day, assuming the lowest low of the day is going to hold. And from this time to the bottom of the hour, it makes sense that we see a move back up. And that's what I've built the position for. That's what I have for an outcome in my mind. And I'm ready, willing, and able to pull the plug if we go here. Right? The stop loss or the ejection seats are still in place, but I can say this is not working before the market tells me you must eject. Right? So we're not purposefully trying to pick the low of the day. You notice I didn't put a trade there because I couldn't afford it. Right? But I built a position on the way. Right? I built a position on the way there. And I'm lining up for the next move. A lot of people are looking at this big red candle and they're mouth watering, thinking it's going here. Like, oh, it must be one of these, right? It must be one of these. Well, maybe it's one of these right here, right? big old wick, right? Until we break that blue line here, this remains in a bullish channel. It's actually a flag, right? And so, consider what's happening in the bigger picture, right? Take this. If we are going up, only to come back down again. Ultimate target, 640. Let's put a line there so that we remember this, right? But I think first, it has to start from a higher high. Okay, so a flag would be a halfway pattern, halfway between the high and the low. And so we take the flagpole, duplicate it, and then where the last candle to be the breakout, you want to put it there, right? So if this starts the last candle for the break, boom, right? It's heading in this direction. Okay, so that's what we have in mind. That's what we have in store for the next little while. And maybe tomorrow's news event will be the catalyst for this. All right, so before this drop, I think we have to go up. All right, so let's go back down to our 5-minute ladder. Remember the rungs that we drew earlier? This one failed. This one got tested, and now we created a new one. All right, we're still back inside the channel, and there's only 20 minutes left to the hour. All right. There's 25 minutes left to the hour, and we are back inside the channel. Big old trap. Remember, we're buying from those who think it's going lower. Right? Do they have a reason to think it's going lower? Where do we have a reason to think it must be going higher? Right? When we're looking left, we have support. When they're expecting a lower low, they're typically looking to the right. Fear of the unknown, I think it's something we're working to resolve. Right? We're using probabilities to overcome unknown. Right? It's this or this or this or this or this. We create a bunch of alternatives in our mind, none of which are threatening, all of which are actionable. And so because now you have something to do, whatever the prompt, there's a consequence. And then because you have this mindset that you can fix it, typically you can. Right? It's just knowing what to do and actually doing it. Two different things. Everybody focus on the first half, and then most people have a tough time with the second half, right? The execution, the actual clicking of the buttons. Dollar index slowly coming back. market's prerogative is it's not to give away free money, but instead it's to take as much as it can from the less sophisticated traders, the less knowledgeable traders, and having a plan is part of it. Having multiple plans puts you in a different group altogether, and then being able to execute on those plans separates you even more. And so this is where we shine. We're trading probabilities and nothing else. It's just uh, mathematically sound if you have a large enough sample size. And the only way to achieve the sample size is by sizing down, right? Mini lots, micro lots, use a bazillion trades in your 20-year career. Don't try to do a 20-year career with 2 lots. You're going to blow up your account. You do 2 micro lots, do it 100 times per day, and now you've created this huge sample size that's taught you something with every trade. Instead of taking 10 trades, learning nothing, and losing all your money. So making mistakes is the name of the game. That's what teaches us. You have to make them cheap. Right. So we're still in this box. So, having found support, having broken through it, having falsely broken down. Do we trust this? I'm starting to trust it. Right? Because we're unable to fulfill the box, I'm thinking it might be trying to go up instead. We have 20 minutes left or 19 minutes left. We are still inside of the blue channel. Right? We don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah. I spent the weekend upgrading to Windows 11, reinstalling all the platforms. Lucky for me, I don't use many tools. And so it's just, download the platform, install the platform, and run it. I don't have to look for indicators and experts and stuff like that. And yeah, it was up and running within 4 or 5 hours. It was awesome. I love Windows 11. Yeah. Well, I've been with, I've been using a PC since DOS 3.1. So adaptability is part of the game. And then in this here, because I trade with my computer, I also have my older computer that's off to the side that's still on Windows 10 just in case. I'm gonna keep that to the side for me for now, just in case. Backup for the backup. Yeah. There's a lot more AI built into Windows 11 and Copilot. I've noticed it's the recent upgrade. It's all about AI stuff, artificial intelligence. Everybody's trying to make money with it. We make our money from natural stupidity, others' natural stupidity. So there we are at support. Come on, constructive it is. We just don't feel it. right? This 1.3 pip bar, the size of the bar is not conducive to being rich today. It's not delivering the bang for the buck that we're looking for, even if it's only, 30 cents a trade. We're still looking to make clicks and close clicks. And so this is when the market gets under your skin, right? It's using time, right? Looking forward to tomorrow's news. It's using time instead of delivering pips. And so it's slowly getting under your skin. You're now giving up on your good plan. You're now coming up maybe with an alternative that's not necessary, and if implemented, probably destructive. Right? Our brain goes through this. As soon as you see something negative, you assume they're coming for the house. No, it's just one little bad trade. Right? Our brain just runs amok. We have to put it in a box. We have to control everything. And we do this daily, by trading with 4 boxes and using a stop and a start time. And so right away, we've created this environment that is 36 pip tall and 2 hours wide. And typically we make an average income in there, right? Potential average yield, right? PAY. You get your paycheck out of that 2 hours every day. And on a day like today, the market is, slowly stepping on the brakes, going into tomorrow's news events. And what we expect to be 3 pips is now 1.1 pip. It's shrinking. And it's the right time of day to be trading, right? But the market has something else in store. Right. So this river of opportunities, it's always here. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. It's just a river. You're just here learning how to fish. Try not to give back what you catch. Right? My fishing net allows me to manage risk. Someone in the comments on the YouTube channel asked if I would do this with futures. I do this with futures, but I have better control of risk with Forex. Right? I can use leverage for sizing. Right? So when I'm using 100-to-1 leverage, which I am right now, I can also, in exchange for that, use mini lots, micro lots, which, the best you can do with futures is a micro contract. It's still a sizable contract. Right? This is me closing some trades and doing it on the cheap because I want to lose cheap. Right? That's why I choose to trade Forex. Right? Losing cheap. The futures stuff that I do, I'll show you here, is with these guys. So it is, it's a prop firm, and you can trade yourself into a bigger account, but ideally the margin requirements are a little bit tougher, and so you just got to be on your game, you know. Come on, I just want to recycle these trades right there. The same two. I'm thinking the channel will hold for today. Let's recycle a few more trades right in this neighborhood and then catch the breakout into this new box here, which would be kind of sweet. Come on. Still looking for that bounce. There we go. That's what we want to see. Bounce off the low. And now we start heading back towards the upper end of the range where we want to be sellers for tomorrow. Right. So before I let you guys go at the top of the hour, the plan for today is to keep doing this: buy support, buy support, buy support. Ultimately, you'll be selling resistance once we get back to near 08. Right? That would be the goal. And so in the next 24 hours, or sorry, in the next 20 hours, 22 hours, that's kind of what is expected. Right? This could happen in any way, shape, or form. And that's just my vision. I could be totally off the mark, right? So don't bet the house on what I'm saying, right? Don't bet the barn. Try and milk the cow instead. Right? 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips. I'm clueless. I don't know what I'm doing. Right? I haven't got a clue. I just put my money where the probabilities are. I'm not a statistician or economics major or finance grad or CMT or CFA or anything. I'm just a guy that buys support and sells resistance. I just do it well. All right, break into the box. I'm gonna go get myself a double espresso and drink it with a straw. Ugh. So the plan for today, for the rest of the day anyways, is a slow drift back up through Asia, through tomorrow European session, and then ultimately we want to be at the top of the channel, 8,100 or so, to be selling. Right? This area here will be important to us, I think, tomorrow. In line for the news, this news event that we're building a position for. Right? That's what we want to do, right? We want to sell up top. You want to buy down here. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys go. And then once I close these trades here, I'll put the picture and upload the video. All right. Enjoy your day. Trade safe. Don't fall into the trap. All right. We're not selling the bottoms. We're buying the bottoms. Bye-bye.